Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to Premier League Countdown. We are coming to the end of this series, and today we're talking about Tottenham Hotspur. I know if you're a Tottenham fan, you clicked on it and you're really weird out at seeing a West Ham fan talking about your club, but I'm not going to mock anyone today. I'm just going to talk objectively like I have throughout the whole series. Make sure to go and check out all the other episodes. There's a live playlist on the channel to check out my analysis of every team. The Nottingham Forest fans are very pissed off at my analysis of them. But yeah, make sure to subscribe if you are new and like the video as well. We are 22 subscribers away from 500, and we're trying to hit that before the end of the year and ideally before the end of the month. Let's get straight into Tottenham Hotspur, who have only done Archie Gray and Dominic Solanke to come in this window, from what I've seen, especially. Um, and it feels like it's another Levy uh, typical window, typical Daniel Levy window. Now, I can somewhat relate to this situation. Not this season as a West Ham fan, but especially throughout the early London Stadium era and from when our owners took over, the GSB lot. I can relate to the Tottenham fans' frustration of their owners as well. And it seems that every 2 years that Daniel Levy does this, where he makes it seem like he's getting a lot of players in, or you might spend big on this player and spend big on this player, and it'll almost mask the fact that the managers have been backed, etc. And you can always go at the managers for not getting the best out of certain players, for sure. And it doesn't mean that managers are immune to criticism when it comes to getting the best out of the squads and players in general. But what it does align is that Tottenham are not going in any sort of direction in terms of off the pitch that is allowing them to go in a consistent direction on the pitch. I think Levy just wants top four, then he's willing to chill out. But I feel like he thinks in his head, "Oh, we'll get top four this season," in terms of from a Tottenham perspective, and he seems to not be bothering when it comes to the transfers. Obviously, I'm not really going to count the Timo Werner extra loan because you kind of already had him last season. Well, you did have him already last season, so obviously you've got Bergvall coming in as well, who is a young 18-year-old central midfielder. But if we're looking at two 18-year-olds as central midfielders and Dominic Solanke up front, it's still not enough for in terms of the business side from Tottenham. Mainly because the other attackers they have is Richarlison, Timo Werner, Brennan Johnson, and a human son who is still probably their best attacker, but is not going to be the same human son that we've seen the past few years. He'll still give you goals, but I don't know whether he'll have the same effectiveness throughout the whole season. Brennan Johnson does well in moments. He does well with his space in behind and stuff. Does well when against a team that you can catch out when there's space to run into and stuff, and it puts a low cross in and stuff. Kulusevski isn't good enough to play in the system on the right hand side, but probably good enough to play in the middle. You probably want another number six. Basuma being the only one who hasn't really impressed. Started off the season really well last season, but overall hasn't really impressed overall. And could probably do a lot more, and you probably want a number six anyway for depth, as Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has left. I don't know whether they're using Ben Davies as his left back cover to cover Doggy and Van der Ven, but that is very lazy and very unambitious. And the fact that Ben Davies is still at Tottenham says a lot about the owners above, the Levy and Enoch, and the people that Tottenham fans seem to complain about quite a lot, and rightly so. But it doesn't. If I even said this last year when I did Premier League Countdown last season, I felt like Ange Postecoglou had a window, but had an okay window. I say a good window, but they could have had more. I said they should have had two centre backs back then, and maybe another attacker. But they didn't really even replace Harry Kane last season, and that Kane money is pretty much gone by now. Solanke coming in is a good signing. Solanke's a good signing for sure, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I think Richarlison and Solanke as your options is also a bit. I can understand why fans would be looking at a bit sideways for sure. I do think Solanke is a good player though. I don't think Timo Werner is consistent enough for you to take him serious for another year, especially on the left wing or up front. Either way, I don't think he's good enough. Human Son is the other option on the left, and obviously we know what Human Son's about, but it's mainly the attack that I'm looking at when it comes to Tottenham. Are they going to score as many goals? Are they even going to score that many goals in general? They're going to create chances because the system allows them to create chances. Are you guys happy with your number 8 options, your box-to-box options in terms of Bentancur and Sarr? I think Maddison will step up. I do like James Maddison. I think he's a great player. I've seen Tottenham linked to Eze and Neto pretty much all window. I've not seen a move for either of them. I think Eze's going to stay, and they missed out on Neto. Like, Eze will stay, or it'll be typical Chelsea to go and sign him for no reason out of the blue again. And when I look at Tottenham in general, don't think their squad's that good. And I can completely understand why they'd be concerned from a set piece angle as well. Because they struggle with set pieces when teams figured them out to put it on them. I'm pretty sure Everton was the first to really set the template of put it on Vicario, put a couple of players around him and see if he drops the ball so you can put the ball in the back of the net. And Ange Postecoglou seems very stern on the fact that you don't need a proper set piece coach. I don't know whether they put one in since, but I'm going to assume they haven't because I still see complaints from Tottenham fans online saying that they need a set piece coach as well. So as much as Vicario is a good player, he does need the help around him in the box for the Tottenham to be organised defensively when it comes to the defensive set pieces. They've got to let some of the deadwood go. The Oliver Skips need to go. The Ben Davies people need to go. I don't know who, like Emerson Royale's gone. So is Jed Spence the other option at right back? I liked Jed Spence in a back three and as a wing back, and I think in general he's a good footballer. But do you think he's a good enough backup to Pedro Porro? I don't know. It's up to you guys to really determine that for sure. But Pedro Porro is a good player. Pedro Porro is a really good player. Really good player technically. He will get caught out defensively though at times, even though the structure does allow him to not get caught out as much. But even with that higher line, that you could probably bag on the fact that teams will get chances. But what I will say is that centre back partnership of Van der Ven and Romero is very impressive in terms of handling that high line. And we'll see if Dragusin gets the chance to impress himself when it comes to getting the game time that he may or may not deserve. But trying to get past Van der Ven and Romero is very long in a highlight, especially Van der Ven. That recovery pace is it's too much. It's too much for strikers to get past. He's probably one of the fastest players in the league, and he's a centre back, which is a cheat code in itself. And having Romero alongside him, even having him in his highlight and in his structure, has actually allowed him to make less mistakes than he usually would than a team that defends the box for all of the time in 90 minutes. So that centre back partnership is very impressive for sure. And that's probably the best part about the team. I think they need a proper ball winner in midfield so they can break up the play, etc. I do think that they could do with another number 8 to distribute the ball a bit quicker and have that killer pass from deeper. But Maddison does kind of go all around the pitch to dictate play and stuff as well. I think he's going to have a great season as long as he stays fit. But yeah, as I've been saying in this video, it's that attack, man. That attack is horrendous, to say the least. A lot of mediocre players that attack well in moments, like they could do well in certain situations. But when a team wants to, sit deeper, play a low block, etc., it's only really Maddison that can really unlock them. Other than that, you don't really have many players that can unlock teams, in my opinion. And I know there's a lot of either or situations where they think Ange Postecoglou is going to have a top season. Ange Postecoglou is going to get sacked by Christmas because you never know what's going to happen with Tottenham. Like, it's that second season thing where can a manager survive the second season after having this really bounce back good season like Mourinho and Conte did? Even Mourinho didn't really have a good season at Tottenham, but Conte had that top 4 season and it all fell down from there because he wasn't happy with the squad. Is Ange Postecoglou going to throw his toys out the pram? Probably not like Conte, but is he going to be frustrated? Or will he just get sacked by Levy? What is going to happen? I have no clue. But I don't think Tottenham have done enough in the transfer window at all. Like, Archie Gray is a good player, but he's not going to be ready to play first team football like on a regular basis at this current moment in time. You've got some good youngsters coming through as well, such as Mikeytimmo, who's had a new contract as well. So the future looks bright for Tottenham, but that's the present. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are if you're a Tottenham fan or just in general, looking at Tottenham in general. But yeah, that is it for Premier League Countdown. I'll be talking about this club, West Ham United, tomorrow as it goes in alphabetical order. And the Wolves episode will come out on Wednesday, and then we are done, and then the season will start on Friday. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe if you are new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're trying to hit that before the end of the year. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.